thank you all for organizing this day, for inviting us to present the main results of the U4Geo project. So today, as you can see from the title of my presentation that I hope all of you can see, we are speaking about the sectoral skills strategy for the space geoinformation sector. First of all, some let me check. Let me see here to change the page. Some few figures about the project. So the project was started in January 2018. The original duration was 4 years, but now due to the COVID pandemic and the impact it had to the activities of the project, we decided to extend it, and we obtained the extension of the contract by 6 months until June 2022. To be, let's say, an Erasmus Plus project, it's quite big. It's almost 4 million euro funded. And the reason for that is that I must say that this project was funded under the so-called fourth wave of the blueprint projects. This means that in 2017, the Commission DG Employment, together with the different reference DGs and the DG EAC, of course, Education and Culture, decided to fund particular sectoral skills alliance, as U4Geo, to foster skills development in specific sectors. So only one alliance was funded for each sector. And in the first wave for the space geoinformation sector, U4Geo was the winning consortium. So I will come back to this concept of blueprint projects later on, so when speaking about the strategy. The partnership, the original partnership, is composed by 25 partners from academia, companies, other organizations, could be private and public bodies, networks per se, because GISIG itself that I'm representing and ERSC or Nereus, other networks are represented within the project. And being so ambitious, we adopted let's say, a distributed approach to coordination, where GISIG is the general coordinator, while Catholic University of Leuven in Belgium is the scientific and technological coordinator. The Paris-Lodron University in Salzburg is the education and training coordinator, while the exploitation and, let's say, long-term sustainability part of the project is coordinated by Climate Kick. How we intend to implement the strategy. So, as I was mentioning, the project was funded under the framework of the Blueprint for Sectoral Cooperation of Skills. That means that, by definition, the project has to develop a long-term strategy for to foster skills development and in a way also to anticipate which will be the skills needs in the space geoinformation sector in the future. Of course, to do this, we have to set, let's say, a coordinated approach with different tools that I'm briefly introducing you. We start from the ontology-based body of knowledge, which is in a way our common vocabulary for the space geoinformation sector, which was not started from scratch, but is extending a pre-existing body of knowledge on geoinformation, which was funded under previous projects. And we are now extending this towards Earth observation Copernicus concepts. Then, based on this common language, we developed a set of an ecosystem, we call it, of innovative tools that I will show you in a while, to design curricula, to describe a job profile, or to even describe a job offer, and other tools, which are all based on this common vocabulary. From the training and educational point of view, we also developed a series of curricula and a portfolio of training modules. We use the term curricula, but actually the kind of offer produced there is values. We have for bachelor studies, for master science, or even single learning units. The idea was also to develop a portfolio of training modules which can be directly usable in the context of Copernicus and other relevant programs, and useful also to actually put in place and, let's say, provide to the public, to the students, to the trainees, the curricula which were designed within U4Geo. To test the approach, we are also developing a set of learning actions. Most of them already took place, almost 20, I would say, and some others are still to come. So I really invite you to connect to the EU4Geo website and take advantage of this opportunity. But my colleagues will speak better about this after my presentation. Of course, we could not cover the entire spectrum of the sector with our training modules and with our training actions. So we selected a set of scenarios in the three subsectors which are addressed by, let's say, the programming phase, since the programming phase by the project, which are integrated applications, smart cities, and climate change. Of course, this will not be over with the end of EU4Geo, but the intention is to develop and really sustain a long-term sectoral skill strategy. And this is being designed and really put into concrete actions and activities in the long-term action plan that we plan to have endorsed by relevant key stakeholders in a final conference that hopefully will be hosted in Brussels in May 2022. And so also in this respect, please stay tuned with the project. Going more into details, into the different results, I was already mentioning the body of knowledge, our common vocabulary. What is the body of knowledge? Is, let's say, defined as a formal description of a professional domain. And it is, let's say, described, it means that it is a common understanding of the different concepts and relationships which are particular of that specific field. So you can see here in this nice picture how it looks like, let's say visually, the body of knowledge with all the concepts and all their relationships, because the concepts are connected by relationships, and in our body of knowledge, the main relationships that we are taking into account are super concepts, sub-concepts, or this is a prerequisite of, or is similar as. So you can see here all these arrows are the connection between concepts. The concepts are expressed in terms both of knowledge and skills connected to the acquisition of that knowledge. And we will see this fact of skills description is very important. Who is developing the body of knowledge? It's being developed by a network of experts, nowadays more than 200, which are divided in working group according to thematic areas, and are using the living textbook to edit the body of knowledge. The call for experts is always open, so you are invited again to, let's say, engage with the project and to contribute to the implementation of the enrichment of the body of knowledge. As I was also mentioning, based on the BOK, we developed an ecosystem of tools and resources, which have the body of knowledge at the center, having a kind of pivotal role guaranteeing the interoperability of all the tools and also the, let's say, the results developed through them. This is another nice, let's say, picture of how the different tools looks like when you enter them. They can serve different purposes, for instance, designing a curriculum, or even at a more granular level, a course, a training module, even a single learning unit. You can describe an occupational profile, you can even describe a job offer, and particularly important is the possibility that you have with the BOK annotation tool, the annotating any resources that in that way become comparable with other resources produced by another tool. Like, just to make an example, the curriculum vitae of students wishing to compare his skills with those required in a job offer prepared with the job offer tool. Speaking all the same language, which is the body of knowledge, they will be able to have straightforward with the mock matching tool, a straightforward comparison and understand which are the skills that you miss to cover that particular job offer. But we are not offering only these BOK-based tools. We are also making available a set of Earth observation tools, which are based on the Belgian Terrascope platform, made available by our partners Vito in Belgium, and where they are providing a fully prepared environment based on this Terrascope. We have some tools that you are seeing here in the Terrascope view, where you can explore satellite data and also the derived products, and you can also make comparison or download the data. Then we have available virtual machines, where we have a virtual desktop environment, let's say, where a set of tools and the libraries are offered for further exploration and analysis of data, and you can also, let's say, have direct access to the data archives available. You can, of course, also use the Jupyter notebooks, which is again a web environment on the Terrascope server, where you can play a little bit and directly work with the satellite data. And also, in a way to hide the software complexity, we are making available the OpenEO, which is a standard API to simplify a little bit the processing of Earth observation data. What is the purpose of all these tools? The purpose is also not only to speak a common language and to compare resources, but also to be used effectively in the training offer of the project. As part of the training offer, you can access a training material catalog. You can see here the interface we have on the project website, and also the relevant link to connect. In this catalog, you can have a general overview of the U4Geo developed material, which is, must say, all quality controlled under peer review. Everything went through peer review. And since all the material is annotated with metadata and with the BOK concepts, you have also the possibility to search for specific material. The access is very user-friendly. Here again, you can see how it looks like when you access a specific training material. You can immediately visualize the expected learning outcomes, and you can see here particularly interested the BOK concepts which are covered by this training material. And here on the right side of the screen, you can see maybe more visually how it is graphically showed the composition of the training material, where when referring to the coverage of BOK concepts. You see here different colors attributed to different BOK concepts. Of course, the training material is part of the U4Geo framework. This is how it looks, the website, when you access it. This is a single portal to enter the various resources, and later on my colleagues will speak more about the training actions as well. But so to say, we develop a portfolio of products and services that must be sustained in the long term. And we are going to sustain this how? Through the concept of alliance, of U4Geo alliance, that is going to survive after the project, to continue its operation, thanks to what will be described in the long-term action plan, and based on what has been, let's say, foreseen in the sectoral skills strategy, which is going to be released officially in a couple of weeks. The alliance per se, the Sector Skills Alliance, is based on this concept of network of networks. As I was mentioning before, several networks are also already part of the alliance, but the alliance has openness and inclusiveness as, let's say, its keywords, and so all these the products that I showed you, and in general the long-term sustainability, are based on this coordinated, as you see, open and inclusive approach. This is matching with the purposes, the objectives of the foundation of U4Geo according to the blueprint for sectoral cooperation of skill I was mentioning before, which is feeding the sectoral skill strategy, and which entails also the collaboration, the cooperation with other existing networks, other DGs, the synergies with other initiatives, with Galileo, for instance, the cooperation with other sectors, because the space geoinformation sector is transversal to different thematic applications. And all this is to pool expertise and resources from all relevant stakeholders in the view to really become a stable alliance and put the basis for the establishment of a large-scale partnership within the PET for Skills. The PET for Skills, which is an initiative by the DG Employment, which was launched exactly 1 year ago, and it is exactly aimed to, let's say, foster the collaboration among key stakeholders. This is part of the strategic objectives of the U4Geo Alliance, as set in this picture that is a full part of the sectoral skill strategy. As you can see, the strategy in action is based on 8 goals, which are, let's say, approached through 5 strategic objectives, each of them being further developed through 3 operational objectives each. According to these objectives, we are going to define which are the concrete actions, activities, and also the relevant target indicators which are needed to implement the sectoral skill strategy into practice. And as you can see, just to make to give a few keywords in this figure, among the main strategic objective, there is the development also of a system to help guide the learners in their skilling. This means that we wanted to develop a one-stop portal where learners can have access to the different training opportunities and be guided in the selection of their individual learning path. And particularly important, as I was mentioning, is the development of skills also in connection with other sectors and value chains, and the engagement of citizens, the engagement of the society at large, according to the quadruple helix model approach that you can see here as well, and where you can see that society is put at the same level of the other, let's say, more traditional, into brackets, actors like government, academic research, and businesses. So just to go into the conclusion, as I was mentioning, we wanted to go through to the setting of this large-scale partnership within the PET for Skills, where the different actors involved agree upon concrete commitments for skills development. And important to say that the EU is going to support this large-scale partnership through specific hubs for networking, knowledge sharing, so training, and access to resources, also funding resources available. So it is particularly important to sign the pact, and for this reason we also invite you to get engaged with U4Geo project and put the basis with us for this large-scale partnership in the space geoinformation sector. Just few words to conclude this part regarding the pact. The pact will be developed according to also the industrial ecosystem which has been described in the Europe Industry Strategy released in early 2021, which identified as a taxonomy 14 industrial ecosystem. Among this ecosystem, one is aerospace and defense, which includes, let's say, space manufacturing and the part related to services, which is more our part. So in principle, the Commission wants to support one large-scale partnership per industrial ecosystem. But the space geoinformation sector, as you all know, is transversal to many of these ecosystems. So this is the role we want to play in the future with our sectorial skills strategy. Said that, I renew the invitation to get engaged with EU4Geo, and you can participate as expert in this implementation of the BOC. You can test and implement the tools the BOC tools in your organization. You can, of course, you are welcome to provide training and upskill solution using our training materials, because everything is open in the results of EU4Geo, so you can use, extract a piece, further implement, do whatever you you need to do. And of course, we would be delighted to welcome you as associated partner of the EU4Geo Alliance, and so to contribute to build the large-scale partnership. So this is the web portal of our project, and you can see here how you can get involved. So really, I invite you to go there and to get in touch with us, and I hope you will enjoy also the next presentation from my colleagues, and you will find even more good reasons to become associates. Many thanks for your attention, and Marusha, the floor is back to you.